Mr. Simple on the train. Once in a month, Mr. Simple went to see his old mother. He caught the 10 o'clock train and spent the day with the old lady and then came back by the 4 o'clock train. And often when he came back, he looked very pale. He couldn't eat or drink anything. One day, Mrs. Simple said, "Dear, you are no good on a train journey. It upsets you so much." "I know why it upsets me," said Mr. Simple. "I always feel ill when I sit with my back to the engine. Last time I sat facing the engine and I was all right. Is not that strange?" "But dear," said Mrs. Simple, "if that is the cause of your trouble, we can end it very easily." "How?" asked Mr. Simple. "Whenever you find that you are sitting with your back to the engine, you can say to the person in the opposite seat, 'Will you please change places with me? I feel ill if I sit with my back to the engine.' Then you can change seats and feel quite all right." "But I can't say all that to a stranger," said Mr. Simple, who was a very shy person. "Oh dear, you can say it easily if you practice a little," said Mrs. Simple. "Imagine I am the person sitting opposite to you. Now say that speech to me." Mr. Simple practiced the speech for full 1 month. He knew every word of it by the heart. He felt very happy. Now he thought he would be able to change places with anyone in the train. Then the day came when he was to go to see his old mother. He set off happily, but alas, when he came back in the evening, he looked as pale as ever. "Mr. Simple," said his wife, "I think you didn't say that speech on the train now." "Well, my dear," said Mr. Simple, "it was quite all right when I caught the train at 10 o'clock. I got into the carriage and sat down. I began to feel ill because I had my back to the engine. A little boy was sitting in the opposite seat. I said to him, 'Will you please change places with me? I feel ill if I sit with my back to the engine.' The gentle chap at once changed place with me and I began to feel quite well again." "But what happened coming back home?" asked Mrs. Simple. "Did you again sit with your back to the engine?" "Yes," said Mr. Simple. You are foolish," cried Mrs. Simple. "Why didn't you change places with the person in the opposite seat?" "I am not foolish," said Mr. Simple. "I would have changed places, but there was no one sitting in the opposite seat." On hearing this, Mrs. Simple laughed and laughed and laughed. "Oh," she said, "you are even more stupid than I thought." Poor Mr. Simple couldn't understand why his wife was saying that. Thank you.